What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. And today is part one of two videos I never thought I would ever make. And that's talking about Face of Franchise. If you noticed, did not play any Face of Franchise on the channel. I played Face of Franchise before the game actually came out. And then I felt like when the game released, probably wasn't a reason to go play it again. I'd been there, done that. And that was really, ultimately, I think the biggest reason with Madden 20's Face of Franchise was that it was the same. You've seen one, you've seen them all. There was no real point to, from a YouTube creator aspect, to make a Face of Franchise series because it's the same thing. It was a heavily scripted game mode that had a lot of same cutscenes, and it was trying to fast track you to become the starting quarterback as fast as humanly possible. No matter really how badly you try to sabotage yourself, how entertaining you tried to make it, how many challenges you tried to kind of implement on yourself, it was the same kind of thing. And that's why I didn't play it. But now we're looking at Madden 21. It's another year that Face of Franchise seemingly is the golden child of Madden. It's the thing that they want to push. I mean, the first thing they talked about when Madden 20 was announced, even maybe before the X Factors, was the new Face of Franchise mode. And as we got the Madden 21 trailer that so many people disliked, when they got that blog post, first thing they're leading with is, hey, Season 2 of Face of the Franchise. So we're going to kind of talk about my feelings of Face of Franchise, especially heading forward, why I think it's not a bad thing, and everything that I expect from Face of Franchise here in Madden 21, what could make it ideal, especially for someone like me, that obviously I think an aspect of my content is these storylines. And then I'm going to have another video a little bit later in the week that talks about maybe the ceiling of Face of Franchise and where it could potentially go. And, that one there is going to be definitely a dark video for some people. I'm going to touch on some things that are a little faux pas, especially in the franchise side of things, but that's for another video. Today, I kind of want to talk about what we're going to be getting in Madden 21 and how I think Face of Franchise could actually be a really, really fun mode. And, we kind of have to talk about it, man, because no matter what way you cut it, Face of Franchise is forever now, I think, going to be linked with connected franchise mode, for better or for worse. So we kind of already talked about Madden 20 and why I thought Face of Franchise wasn't particularly good. And there is this growing feeling, especially from the franchise, gameplay side of the Madden fan base, which is a fan base I think that I'm a part of and I represent, that is growing to hate Face of Franchise because it, to use a wrestling term, it's getting that forced push, that for those of you that watch wrestling, the John Cena, Roman Reigns, that push where, like, no matter the reception and the feedback that the fans are giving, it's already this predetermined from the higher ups that this is the guy we're going with. And it really kind of feels like right now that's Face of Franchise. Everyone wants all the attention, all the love to go to connected franchise and bringing in coaching carousel, revamping scouting. I mean, there's so much that they could do for connected franchise mode, but it just always seems like Face of Franchise, at least for the last two games, is getting everything, and we're lucky if we get something to trickle out of Face of Franchise mode and use that as a new feature and selling point in connected franchise mode. That's annoying, and we're right to be annoyed because it really does feel like we want franchise, and then the people that make the decisions at Madden are like, what? You want Face of Franchise? Okay. And they're like, no. And then they shut the door and start working on Face of Franchise. But I do know there's two things that Face of Franchise is trying to achieve. I talked about one of them before in another video. But one, obviously, it's trying to be the career mode, right? You see the success of 2K's career mode in their basketball game. And I kind of wish I played that a little bit because I think that'd be a great point of reference for some of the things that I want to see in Face of Franchise. But I've never played it. I just know the perception that is, despite maybe some of the faults that it has, that is the premier mode if you want to do a superstar style thing, is to play 2K. So that is what Madden's trying to do. That's probably the biggest aspect of Face of Franchise. But another one, and one that's important to understand from a franchise community standpoint, is that Face of Franchise is supposedly trying to onboard new players into franchise mode, because you go through all the cutscenes and stuff like that, but ultimately you end up as a career mode, as a player career, which is franchise mode. And I know for a fact that is an objective of Face of Franchise, which is a good thing, because the more people that play franchise mode, the more the analytics are going to back the growing demand for new features, because they're going to say, whoa, look at all these people from Face of Franchise that are now, they went through all the motions and stuff, but now they're playing in connected franchise mode. These are people that are utilizing these servers and all these different things that is going to have analytics that should help a game when people are saying, hey, we should give some love to franchise mode, especially now with Face of Franchise. Look at the new players they're getting. Let's spend some time and add, new scouting mechanics and coaching carousel and all these different things, right? So that is a good thing. That is a really, really good thing to have. But, it's hard to see that end game right now because, at least for Madden 21, it appears that, we'll be lucky to get some of the trickle-down stuff that Face of Franchise got. But what are we getting in Face of Franchise here in Madden 21? What we know so far is that you get to go through 2 playoff runs, which has achieved one of the demands, was that, hey, add some more college football in the mix, because it does give you that little taste of NCAA that a lot of us have been lacking. They added new positions, which you knew was going to be a must. They added running back and wide receiver, and for me, someone that played running back, someone that would want to be a running back in a mode like that, that is a positive for me. PL Mullins. They added the Combine, because the Madden Combine that they hyped for Face of Franchise in Madden 20 was almost false advertising. It was basically skills trainer with an extra cutscene. But now in Madden 21, they have highlight that there's going to be a 40-yard dash game. You run the 40-yard dash. So as long as that's not like a scripted cinematic, like hit A at the right time kind of mode, and it's actually kind of like the old school 40-yard dashes, and where our performance would really, at that starting point, mess with the direction of where our players' career is going to go. If you run a 4-2, maybe you're going to be getting big sponsorships, and you're going to go in the first round. Or if you purposely sabotage and run a 6-0-1, you're going to go UDFA, and that's going to completely change where you go with your franchise mode, which would be unreal, which would be huge, which is exactly the type of content that they need to have in Face of Franchise. And the last point is that they said that there's going to be storylines every single year. And this is kind of the meat and potatoes of this video, are the storylines. That is what is going to make someone like me, and I know a lot of people, play Face of Franchise. I have a bunch of casual friends that got Madden last year, and none of them even thought about playing Face of Franchise. There was zero appeal there. So, understanding that Face of Franchise generally is a mode for the casual player, it kind of missed the mark last year, because even my buddies were like, I don't want to do all this cutscene stuff. I just want to do they think of the older games of Superstar, where I just want to make my guy my 400-pound quarterback and do ridiculous things. But Face of Franchise in Madden 20 was so scripted, so predetermined, going through the motions. You couldn't really do something like that. So that is definitely the direction Face of Franchise needs to go. And I think a big reason to make it feel unique is going to be how they approach these storylines. There could be the bad way of doing it, which will hurt myself as a content creator's desire to do it, and a lot of people to do it, because the reason from a content creator's perspective the Face of Franchise was so bad last year was so bad in relation to making content on it was because, if one guy did it, you've already seen it and done it before. Some guy went to, the early capture event and did Face of Franchise. Well, there you go. You guys are going to, anything I do is going to be just exactly what this guy did. You know what I'm saying? There's no replayability. There's no uniqueness to it. There's no reason to watch it a second time. But if they do the storylines correctly, and you never know what turn is going to happen in a given Face of Franchise mode in Madden 21, it's going to be a whole lot more interesting. There's going to be a whole lot more content to potentially put out for you guys. But back to the good and bad way to implement storylines. The bad way is for it to be predetermined. Storylines every year, regardless of quarterback, running back, wide receiver, regardless of what you did in the 40, regardless of anything, if the same storyline triggers the exact same time every single year, in year 1, you get storyline A every single time. In year 2, you get storyline B every single time, regardless of your play, your performance, whatever. Year 3, the same thing. If it's predetermined again, if it feels like you're just going through the motions and they're trying to strong arm you into becoming this starter and doing this expected storyline, it's going to kill any motivation for me to even pick up the mode, knowing that it's going to be the exact same thing. I want to do a PL Mullins running back career that for you guys, you're not going to see anything like it. And it's going to be incredibly difficult to replicate. So it's going to be unique, and it's going to be a reason why people want to watch it. But if they implement the storylines like I just said, where it's predetermined and it happens the exact same time every single, it's not going to be fun. But if they did something like they added 70 different storylines, and they're going to be completely random, and they're going to be triggered by your own specific performance. You have a 200-yard rushing game, you get this one. If you're year 2 in and you're maybe struggling and your team drafts your replacement or a potential replacement, you get some of that positional depth chart battle things. You can have a rivalry. You can hire an agent, things like that would just off the walls, just constantly challenge you. You know, these storylines need to be, obviously there has to be a level of standardness to it, I guess. I don't know if that's a proper word, but like you're not going to truly have a unique one because there's only so much. There's not a limitless amount of storylines they can implement in the game, but there needs to be a very high probability that my running back career mode is going to be different than your running back career mode. That's really where this mode will be able to thrive, because everyone's going to, and that's where the replayability is going to be. Because if I know I went through this thing as PL Mullins and we're at the end of my career and he went to the Hall of Fame, which is the end goal, I know that if I pick it up and want to do a quarterback, it's going to be a completely different experience, and that's going to make me as a content creator really want to play that mode. But then there's the bad way, the lazy way to do it, of like, all right, it's week 6 in year 2. Here comes the positional battle every single time in year 2, week 6. Like, I really hope they don't go that way. And I have no reason to lean either way on this one. Who knows what we're going to be getting until they release the blog on it. But I really do think that there's a way for these storylines, if implemented correctly, it's going to increase the playability and the entertainment value that you'll get from Face a Franchise that has been lacking from the Madden 20 introduction of that mode. So, you know, that's kind of where I wanted to talk about Face a Franchise, at least from my perspective, why I didn't play it and why I didn't think the content was pretty good. I mean, like, I don't know if I really talked about this, but like when you looked at the content that was released on YouTube, I think from the Madden realm, like number 1 was MUT, number 2 franchise mode, number 3 Superstar KO, number 4 was Face a Franchise. And when this is the thing that EA's pumping all the resources into, you don't want that thing to be the 4th most publicized and free advertised mode. You want that to be up there, right? So I think, you know, if you want to help push the numbers of Face a Franchise, make it unique, make it actually entertaining to watch, and make it, for the end of God, I want to finish with this, because when we and myself were asked to give feedback on Face a Franchise, there was one overwhelming response to what needed to change, and that was make it difficult. Don't make it spoon-fed. Don't make me be the starter. I want the challenge, the peaks and valleys, the ups and downs of a career. I want the struggles. I want to be able to overcome adversity and become the starter. I want, maybe I have to bounce around to a couple teams. Maybe I'm a backup. I cannot. If I go to the Saints, I cannot overtake Drew Brees in year 1. I cannot overtake Jameis Winston in year 2. And I got to go somewhere. I can demand a trade, and I got to go somewhere. I think when you start opening up and viewing Face a Franchise like that, it starts being like, God damn, this is a little bit like coaching carousel, isn't it? Trying to bounce around until I find a way to get to my dream team. And when you looked at what we got in Madden 20, there's only like 5 teams you could get drafted to because you were stuck as a quarterback, and it was not good. So the number one thing outside of the proper implementation of random storylines that helps make it feel unique is make it harder. I do not want to be a starter year 1. Unless I run the 4-2 or something crazy like that at the combine. I want the challenge. I want the grind. I want it to be punishing so that when I do something good, it feels that much more rewarding and I actually felt like I earned something. So hopefully that's kind of what we get in Face a Franchise. And obviously we'll find out more in the coming weeks as they release more information about Madden 21. But that's kind of how I'm feeling about the game. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. And I just kind of wanted to, you know, open up the beginning of Pandora's box here, because the video that I think we have scheduled, I'm going to re-record it right after this, for Friday, is where the future of Face a Franchise could go. And I'm going to make a suggestion that not a lot of people are going to be happy about, but I will find a way to relate it to how it's a good thing for us, the franchise users. But that is for another video. Let me know how you guys feel about this in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button if you're first time stopping by, getting ready for the Madden 21 season. Very close to 130,000 subs. Smash the like button if you like some of the points that I came up with here today. We'll be back tomorrow with a Tennessee Titans realistic rebuild. So if you are a Titan fan, be prepared. I'm probably going to shit all over Ryan Tannehill. And I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching, and peace out.